Good morning again. We're out and about today with KCLR Live and Carlow Chamber. We're celebrating excellence at the Lord Bagnall Inn. We're hearing lots of stories in the room of local business success. You can watch our live stream on Carlow Chamber's website. You can follow us on social media and keep your texts coming in for our competition, a €100 voucher for Detail menswear. Philip is in the room. He'll be giving us style advice a little bit later on, but you can keep your entries coming in 083 306 9696. And I'd say, Marcus McCormack, you're pretty good at the style now yourself, and I hear you're a great singer. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Eimear, and thank you for the invite this morning. We're delighted to be here.
We're not having a sing-song though, Marcus.
No, absolutely not. It's too early in the day for that now.
Now, you won an award and your premises is stunning. You have the best presented premises in Carlow Town at the recent Carlow Business Awards, and that is for your property, DNG McCormack.
Thank you, Eimear. Yeah, look, we're very proud of our building in Tullow Street. It's a landmark building in the town, and we're very proud of it. It's our head office. We have 3 offices around the area in Tullow and in Clane in County Carlow, but the building is very, very old, a lot of history, steeped in history. A number of Carlow families have occupied it before us, but has a couple of issues that old buildings carry, of course, and a bit of cost to go with it. But generally speaking, we're doing okay with it, yeah.
It's one of those iconic buildings in Carlow as well because it's on a corner, and it takes your breath away when you're around that corner. Since you've painted it, you've looked after it, it's made such a difference to the town. I bet people say that to you, that we notice it.
The feedback we got after winning this award was incredible. And the amount of people that made a comment about Carlow and the building in terms of its presentation. And unfortunately, they mentioned a number of other, not particular businesses, but saying that it's a pity that a lot of the people in the town don't present their buildings maybe to similar condition and finish. Really and truly, hand on heart, what we did before we won this award was we painted the building and it transformed it. And we put a navy colour up on top. And it seems to have attracted a lot of interest and obviously caught the eyes of the judges in this particular competition.
It's just so clean and fresh looking. It's absolutely gorgeous. How is the property market right now? I know yourself and Paul, you're in a family business. You're great employers. You've been around for a long time as well when we're talking about longevity and providing local employment in Carlow, Tullow and Clane. For how many years now?
We're 25 years in business now, Eimear, and Paul and my brother are in partnership. We have 12 staff. We have a great team, excellent team across the 3 offices. And luckily, our market share is continuing to grow year on year. We're blessed to be involved with the D&G franchise group as well, which adds a huge amount of value to our business and becoming one of the better known national brands across the country.
What's it like working with your brother?
Well, we operate, believe it or not, we're only brothers, only siblings. We have never had a row. He's an incredible man, and he runs the office in Clane, and I'm down in Carlow, so we keep our distance, but hand on heart, we're the best of friends.
That's fantastic. And I know that's true because years ago, when my sister was a young medical student, you gave her a job in the office on Barrack Street. And she always told me that you were a brilliant person to work for.
She was incredible. She was studying at the time when she came into us on Saturday morning. And at the time, I suppose I was a lot younger than I am now, and I was a bit of a wild character back then, and Friday nights was generally the night out after the week's work. So Saturday morning, I'd come into the office, and Sinead would be lecturing me about liver and damage to my liver and the volume of alcohol and whatever.
And she's still doing that, but to me now instead of you.
But she was great crack, I tell you. She was an incredible young lady that came into the office, and we remember her with very, very fond memories.
She's home from Australia at the moment, so I'll tell her you were asking for her.
Give her my regards, please.
It's great to see a business 25 years. We kind of said it there almost as a throwaway remark. 25 years is a long time, so since you've been a very young man starting out, did you think back then you'd still be here and successful at this stage? Very successful.
I suppose when you're that young starting out, you don't think much further than the week ahead. We've had our tough times, believe me. The recession hit us very difficult, as it did the property market across the world. We were lucky that we survived it and got out the far side of it. And again, I give credit to the staff that we have. They're just a top-class team, and everyone got stuck in and worked their way through it, and we got out the far side of it, and we're continuing to try and grow our business now.
Who are your clients now, Marcus? Your biggest demand? Are people downsizing? Or do you have the first-time buyers still on the hunt, probably looking for something in the second-hand market?
This year, for definite, without shadow of a doubt, it's all first-time buyers, young couples, mortgage approved, first-time purchases. It's lovely to watch them coming through, finding their dream homes and setting up their life and so on for the future. The investors are gone completely out of the market. We're seeing a lot of our investors actually selling up and getting away from the rented properties, unfortunately. But that's creating a bit of supply for the younger couples, because there's little or no new builds happening in County Carlow, a little bit more happening in County Kildare and that side of it. But have to say, generally speaking, the purchasers this year have been probably 80% first-time buyers.
Are the developers giving you any feedback? Would they like to see maybe conditions being more favourable that would allow them to build new homes, and then, you know, you'd be meeting the demand that's there?
Well, just this week, interesting enough, I met a builder on Monday night in the office for probably the guts of 2 hours, going through prices in Carlow and what's realistic and what can be achieved. And he seems hopeful and confident that maybe next year will be the year that that'll kick off. So without saying too much now, but we are expecting to see a bit of an increase in supply of new properties in Carlow. And that's really what the young couples are after, the new A-rated, efficient houses for the future, you know.
Yeah, there's fantastic technology in the new homes now when it comes to heating and all of that. Well done to you, Marcus. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. You can stay with us on stage. We've Anne Kelly as well. And Anne, it's brilliant to see you. And it was great to see you pop up on stage on the night with your award. Anne & Co is the name of your business. And I know some of our listeners may have known you previously as AK Graphics.
That's correct, yeah.
You had a great kind of, I'm sure, bounce afterwards.
We did have a great bounce. Was really surprised that we actually got the award, but it does give us a great boost to the actual team when you win something like that, because it's great to get the local achievement, and then you get a lot of good PR out of it as well, which is really good. So we're very proud to win something like this, because we've been in business now for 28 years. I'm actually in business longer than Marcus.
Well done.
So, yeah, it's changed a lot over the years, you know, and we did rebrand ourselves last year. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to expand our business a little bit more, because our name had a kind of an old interpretation. So it's been really good. It's been difficult, though, I suppose, in trying to rebrand when you're in COVID and then we're out of COVID. But businesses have been very, very good to us. A lot of the business we work for are all repeat business. It's all on a retainer basis, but we're very closely working with a lot of our customers, and we're lucky we work in a lot of different industries, because it's all about creative thinking, strategic thinking, all about being very, very creative in how you sell something.
Right, and professional services, that's the award that you won on the night.
Exactly.
So for businesses who are tuned in, what difference can you make, Anne, to their bottom line? And I know it's all part of a process.
It's all part of a process, but it really is all about problem solving for businesses. Business come and they say they have an issue and this is what they want to do, but sometimes that actually isn't the issue when you actually delve into it. But it's all about trying to, I suppose our aim is creative thinking and driving business further, you know, and making new leads. So it's a lot of digital and it's a lot of print, but thankfully there's still, I'm delighted to hear the nationals there talking, it's still a huge amount of emphasis on the print element, because there's so much email related and so much social media related. The trends are changing a little bit again. So, you know, the industry is changing all the time, but you've got to be very creative in how you figure out how you're going to actually gain a new customer or how you gain a new lead. So you need to do a lot of homework first, and that's where I have a great team in thinking about things and thinking about strategic thinking and creative thinking and how you're going to solve a problem.
And do you work with multinationals, or is it the small, medium businesses that are your greatest clients?
There's a huge variety. There's small businesses, medium businesses, but we also work with a lot of international brands as well. So thankfully in COVID we were able to do a lot more work outside the country, and that's been really good for us as well, because time differences work great for a lot of the global companies. So any of them in America, we have the work done in advance, which is great, and they love that, like, you know. But again, you don't work with those companies until they understand that you understand their brand and you know the rules and regulations with their brand and how they actually work. So it's great to have that, though.
That's remarkable. So the efficiencies there, you're taking advantage of that with the States, that by the time they're at their desk, they're reviewing work that you did in your day, but middle of the night for them.
It's great, yeah. You get all the emails in the middle of the night, and it's good. But look, there's still an awful lot lot of local businesses. There's an awful lot of Carlow businesses that work with us. We've been there a long time with a lot of local Carlow businesses, and they've been really good to us. So it's great. It's a great county for business.
And in case we pass by some of your work daily and don't realise, would you mention that to us? Are there any brands or any companies that we might associate with your business?
We do a lot of work with Halo Care, and we do a lot of work with Keenan's Altec, and we do a lot of work with Tirlawn, which is Glambia. So all those local businesses we work with on a daily basis.
Huge companies.
Huge companies who are being very careful on their spend now. They are being careful on their spend, but you know, I think that's good in another way because people are thinking about things differently. We've all got to be careful in how we step to the next level in next year.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Anne Kelly from Anne & Co. For joining us this morning. And Rowena Dooley, you're very welcome to the programme, Rowena. And
Thanks
you
for
are
having me, Eimear.
dealer principal at Dooley Motors and also vice president of our chamber. And the chamber, you've been an incredible force for telling people about what's going on in the county.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Brian may have mentioned earlier, we're kicking off our Shop Local, Shop Carlow campaign with the chamber over the next couple of weeks in conjunction with the local enterprise office. So the message is being brought out loud and clear here, you know, continue to support local and keep the jobs local. It's so important now more than ever.
It sure is, and as part of your own local family business as well, you've expanded your brands. I'm hearing lots about Fiat is there. You still have Ford and Kia, but you have Fiat and Jeep now as well.
That's right, Eimear, yeah. We're in business now, I'll brag, in 33 years this year. I'm only involved the last sort of 21. But look, it's like everyone's business, it's an ever-changing environment. Our industry, like most others, have experienced supply shortages, semiconductor problems, and all sorts of various problems over the last couple of years. And it just made us refocus over the last year or two to say, right, what more can we offer out of the premises that we have and the people that we have to keep everything viable and continue to offer a value offering. So we expanded in conjunction with the Gowan Group, and we've taken on Fiat, the Fiat Professional brand, which is vans, and also Jeep. So 3 new franchises. So hopefully they'll bring us to another level.
That's brilliant. And what a lot of people maybe didn't realise, Rowena, until they went about looking at buying a new car, is that the demand was such, the pent-up demand, and on top of that, the factories slowing down somewhat during COVID, it put enormous pressure on dealerships like yours, trying to keep everybody happy, trying to find that new car for them, and maintaining their expectations. And you managed to do that really well. And the supply of vans as well at the time, if we think back up to a year ago, it was something else, the demand that was there.
We had never seen anything like the shortage, I suppose, that we all experienced right across all brands. But thankfully, that's somewhat coming back to some level of normality. Might not go back to the same levels, but certainly as well on the electric vehicle side of things, we've just experienced unprecedented demands and inquiries. So, and supply has certainly not caught up there. But in the general sense, though, it's coming back to more normal terms of supply. But electric vehicles are where there's a big shortage and supply shortage. So.
And a lot of people are looking at that, despite the cost of electricity at the moment going up. They're probably thinking more long term, Rowena, that this is their plan going forward, maybe.
Definitely, Eimear, definitely. I suppose, like you say, the cost of fuel and everything, and even just everybody's awareness of where it's going. I mean, the market for electric vehicles this time last year to the end of October was about 8%, and it's gone up to 14%. Now, look, there's a challenge there with the costings of them. They're not the most affordable vehicle, and that's hence why we went into the Fiat side of the house as a smaller offering there, and a more valuable offering for smaller electric cars. But
then you look at countries, Rowena, like Norway, where they get heavily subsidised to buy electric cars. Would you like to see something like that here that might be more of an incentive, because we need to bring the cost of them down?
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, there are supports there in place, but the government are talking about pulling them back, which is certainly something that wouldn't work, because they have huge objectives for 2030 in terms of the environmental emission targets. So it has to go hand in hand. The supports need to stay the same, and in fact need to be strengthened to make them more affordable for people, also for vans, for the commercial fleet. But we will get there. It just might not be as quickly as the government see it by 2030.
I talked to Marcus about working in a family business, and at least Paul is in Clane, and I know he gets on great with Paul, but in your case, Rowena, you're all together, and you're very much together yourself, your dad, your brother. I know your mum, I'm sure, helps as well, and it's a real family affair.
It is, I suppose it is. Mum and Dad started it in 1989 and they took over from Sheridan's at the time, but my 3 brothers work alongside me now, and my dad's still very much involved in the business. So, yeah, no, look, we all have our own areas of responsibility and our own output, I suppose, that we have to perform on. And most days, it works well.
Brilliant. And I know your dad is great for the odd school run as well.
Oh, he
your
sure
mum and dad,
is.
you need the village around you when you're in business.
Absolutely, yes, for sure.
Fantastic. Well, a big hello to everybody in Dooley's, to DNG as well. Are they tuned in Clane on the app?
All right, in fairness, yeah.
Great stuff. Thanks a million to Marcus. Thanks to Anne Kelly. Thanks to Rowena Dooley.